Crank. Both teams have had it banned against them 3 times, I believe, so no surprise that that was banned out there. Jace also been a very strong favourite in this tournament. Of course, they don't want Stanley having that, but we know damn well Stanley has that backup of Nidalee. Those spears so strong. Skarner being banned out, that's Cloud Templar's one of his favourite champions.
And the Nidalee, if they pick it, it wouldn't be early because they very much like to do that in a counter pick. The Jace ban, no surprise. Stanley was actually the first player to pick Jace competitively, so he's feared. Everyone knows that. They're not letting toys have Orianna. Collective size from everyone. I'm not expecting to see that anytime soon with how dominating he's been with it and how much control that adds. And back and forth, these are all just directed bans at the players. Jax is for Shy. Back and forth, these guys obviously done their homework.
We only got to see Jax, I think, one time in the tournament from Azubu Frost. That was against CLG, I believe, CLG.NA.
And we actually had a clip of him getting a double kill at a sliver of health. And like, you know what?
That's why we're not going to let him have him. Yeah, indeed. Final pick to ban. Sorry, taking a little while from Azubu Frost because there's a few things been left open. They've gone with Kog'Maw. That is a surprise battle, and definitely the fans are very much knowledgeable. And Anivia may well get locked in here. We don't know. You never know with these players, you see. We don't like to bite things early, but I don't think we've seen Toys Anivia throughout this tournament.
He has played Anivia, actually. He was in the second game against Najin Sword, and he went 6-0-5 with it. That was a brilliant ploy by them because they knew that Rapid Star wanted it. CLG.EU had to ban that out earlier. They're going to lock in the Sona, I'm pretty sure, because they love Sona. It's the #1 support for them, and it also potentially blocks TPA from a safe Nunu pick because the high poke from them is, and the Sona Ezreal, scouted by many as being the best 2-man high poke lane you can have in the game. What's TPA going to do to counter that?
And the question is, that means Azubu Frost surely might use this in the top lane. We saw it against CLG. They just shoved that top lane down with that combo. Maokai, it has been one of the strongest junglers probably throughout the tournament. Definitely sets up those ganks early. Matches the aggressive play that Taipei Assassins have.
Maokai is going to be a contested pick amongst both these guys. The only junglers that Lowballs has actually won on have been Dr. Mundo and Maokai, so this is a very clear pick for him. Cloud Templar has had most success on Maokai and Skarner as well, so if they pick that away, that leaves it open for the other side. If they do end up going with the Maokai, I'd almost expect a Shen from Cloud Templar because he's been very much about control of the map, and if he can just sit in the jungle and come out with Shen, that fits right into their style, especially with high-pressure lanes coming out from Sona Ezreal. They're taking their time with this one, though. You can tell they don't know if they got the strategy, and a Lulu pick coming out. Poke versus Poke going to go in versus Sona there.
This could be a very aggressive team pick. The next 2 picks, and like you mentioned, the deliberately slowness of it. He saw a mistake there, talking across. Obviously, the shot call that we said, I guess they're having a global discussion. Vladimir, we saw Vladimir in the middle for Azubu Frost against CLG. Froggen said he was well aware of that fact, expecting it against Morgana. Definitely can farm strongly against Morgana and against Anivia. And
Rapid Star really likes Vladimir. He knows the ins and outs of the TPM matchup. And here could be a Karthus. Strangely enough, though, the 2 times, both of these teams have picked a Karthus Shenkom twice, and that was the only game they lost in the tournament. But they like the Karthus versus Anivia matchup. And a Namumu coming in from Cloud Templar. First one we've seen all tournament.
First one all tournament. I asked Snoopy whether he was going to do it, especially after his champion spotlight, whether he was going to do an Amumu. But that is an insta-lock in Vayne there. They really wanted that combo. Of course, that was a combo we saw come strong against the Kog'Maws. And, you know, we didn't see Vayne until the semi-finals. And suddenly, bam, selected in 2 matches and was absolutely superb.
And they want a lane swap with this. There's no way they're laning Lulu Vayne up against Sona Ezreal. Now this last pick is going to be a very skilled 1v2 laner. The trouble is they don't know what Azubu Frost last pick is, and there's an Olaf, perfect for the 1v2 lane.
So Stanley going to be on Olaf. He's going to be against the Ezreal Sona poke. What will be the final pick? Will it be Singed? Will it be Shen?
They've done Singed in 1v2 lanes before, and Shy's had much success on it. It would be tricky, though, because slows and even the wall could shut down him if he's trying to run away, and you can spam the slows down with Lulu and Maokai. Singed would be a very, very dangerous pick here. I'd expect him to go with something else, but what does Shy have up his sleeve here because he's been so dominating with that Singed, and they do have this last pick potential to counter everything. And there's the Aurelia. Here are the teams.
Aurelia being locked in. Talk about the teams.
Right now we have the Amumu is going to be so huge for Azubu Frost. They're going to have to get to a point where they can teamfight, and when they have that, the Amumu ult on top of the Crescendo, on top of the Ezreal ult could just clean the floor. TPA has very much Maokai trying to get around early, and the Vayne fast push with 2v1 lanes is going to be what they try to create. Toys is going to try to shut them out in team fights, and back and forth, these guys actually have very good late games together. But based on their styles, it's going to be about fast pushing towers and who can better prepare for that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the teams are locked in. The OGN Summer Champions, Azubu Frost. If you would like them to take this game, take this trophy, take the Summoners Cup, give them a cheer.
Really good support for them. If you guys want to see Taipei Assassins take the first game here and get one step closer to the Summoners Cup, let's hear it for TPA.
What a tremendous trophy that is. TPA seems to be the champ, but it's pretty even, I think, across the board. Azubu Frost definitely have a lot of support, certainly in Korea, obviously in prime time now for the Korean audiences, as well as Taipei. And, well, honestly, Jat, I mean, coming into this, the team comps, who would you favor as we get into the game?
I've talked to a lot of pros, and it's odd for them as we get into the game. Normally, they're very one-sided in what they say. They're very definitive about how they predict. And everyone says 3-2. I don't know who's going to win. These teams are very even. Now that they come out of the base, we're finally here into the World Finals.
Well, I know everyone here would certainly love to see a 3-2. Everyone at home would love to try and stay up. And I favor with all those Europeans that have stayed up through the night. You have my sympathies, ladies and gentlemen, because Taipei Assassins versus Azubu Frost is about to get underway, and the water immediately goes in their faces. If you've just joined us, if you've just tuned in, the Taipei Assassins as a blue team as game one gets underway. Azubu Frost as the red team. We are just 50 seconds into it. We are going to see a level 1 invade.
And this is brute force because they're going right through a ward that they just saw. They're just trying to get a ward on the raids, and the big weakness for Mumu is early game counter jungling. Funnily enough, the early game weakness of Maokai is also that, so it was a pretty good pick against it. They're both poking around, trying to invade the other team's buffs. There's a lot of wards. You can see a lot of supports have just went to burning all their wards on early level 1 buffs. Looks like Maokai's starting at blue and Amumu's starting at blue as well, so both of these junglers looking to start very strongly, and neither team actually going for an aggressive invade. They know how much is on the line, and it does seem like they have conservative plays coming out early.
Of course, that $1 million would certainly make you think twice about any crazy players you were going to throw out. Certainly in the first game, definitely going to be a cautious match on the first match. Wouldn't expect anyone to go overly aggressive. They've got nothing to lose at the moment, of course, but you know, they could come back from anything. Taipei Assassins taking the golems. You see, also setting up for the red. Meanwhile, the blue buff, is also being picked up by Azubu Frost. That is going to be the Nivelish. And that is going to be Cloud Templar picking up the blue buff, we would assume. Just going to see whether they use the smite here. It is something that Amumu always needs in the jungle to start.
And actually, there wasn't any lane swapping. They might have out-mind game each other because BB and Mistake have to lane up against the Sona Ezreal. That's going to be a very difficult lane for them. They're going to get poked down really hard in the bottom lane. Cloud Templar saving his smite so he can pick up the red buff very early. Both junglers getting seen by wards a bit, and that bottom lane, BB getting poked hard early.
Very low. The exhaust had to get used. They might be able to turn this one. Had to burn the flash there. They tried to go for it. BB, Madlock trying to get aggressive. He puts the ignite down on Mistake. Mistake's going to get taken low. Wound's going to have one more Mystic shot. Can he make it? No! And that's going to force Taipei Assassins back early on. They're going to try and burn the health box. They've got to go back.
This is really going to hurt them. They're going to lose a wave on the turret, and that could set them behind very much. They can't go back to that lane and keep hurting because that is going to continue happening. Punishment going down around the map. Big harassment early, and that was the play for Azubu Frost. Big advantage there early bottom lane.
Okay, so looking like the lanes are going to be pretty standard. We're just going to keep our eye on where Cloud Templar is going to head. Take us through this top lane moment as Cloud Templar has a little peek, actually. And let's just stay with it a moment. You can see if he can get the bandage toss on towards Stanley. He's going to show himself, and that's going to be the stun coming straight down. He's going to have plenty of time to land that bandage toss. It's going to be first blood. Stanley's going to go down. It is going to be Shy picking up first blood for Azubu Frost.
The crowd here is electric, and that was huge. They got the stun onto Olaf, and since he had Ghost instead of Flash, they chained it, and the red buff slowed him down. and continually picking up those double golems to make up for the experience loss. They're sticking in there fairly well considering the level 1 loss, 28 minion kills to 39. They're down at Doran's Blade in items. You can see Woong picking up that second one. And it's just going to be a constant struggle for them to stay in the game. Luckily, they got that turnaround in the top lane, and that's going to be big.
Yeah, and there's wards across the board here. 4 members of both teams, 5 members of Taipei Assassins picking up wards there, showing they're really spreading the load, spreading the love. Toys versus Rapid Star. We haven't really had a chance to look at this one so far because the aggression's been in them top and bottom lanes. Take us through Anivia versus Kalthus.
It's mostly a farm off, and then it will come into aggression, mostly once Maokai starts ganking Karthus. I don't know if they can actually get onto Toys. He's been pretty much unkillable. He plays so passive in lane before he ends up getting aggressive, and you can actually see both teams preemptively did a lane swap. Taipei Assassins went up top to try to get some free farm, and Azubu Frost was right on top of it, both going up to top lane. They're not going to let Vayne get a 2v1 in free farm because they need to keep the pressure on.
We are seeing them try to match it up there, but that means Olaf did get in lane quite a bit earlier, and at the moment Stanley's starting to take a little bit of a lead in terms of CS. Of course, they've both got a killer piece and an assist. As it is, we saw the jungler, Little Balls, just hanging around that mid lane, but Rapid Star was not showing himself any position. Cloud Templar just going back, building up that heart of gold. Heavy GP10 items being built up by these guys. It's something we've seen throughout the tournament. And
Lowball's actually getting an Oracle's Elixir already, so he's going to be looking for those early ganks, and he continue from the success he saw top lane, giving the blue buff over to Toys right now. Still having the blue buff from the earlier trade, and he's going to clean up this ward top, and once Azubu Frost has no wards, they won't be able to pressure Vayne and Lulu quite as hard, and it's going to help them a whole bunch having that map control.
As the cheer goes for the ward kill. Thank you very much, guys, for bearing with us through that entire Saturday. It was a long, long day for all of us, and as it is, we are getting things going here. And Taipei Assassins do want up. Toys taking a very early ward there, and looking like a potential red invade here, Jack.
And really, they're just trying to catch Cloud Templar. Once they realize he's level 6, though, this invade becomes increasingly dangerous, and he's actually baiting. They know that Lowballs is around pushing the red, and he's going to try to catch him here while they collapse down with Stone and Ezreal. Lowballs has to run away.
He has to back off, like you say. Stone and Ezreal coming both down, and that is going to be Cloud Templar picking it up. But it's good to see Taipei Assassins going for those aggressive plays, something Azubu Frost has yet to do, obviously. They've been trying to push that lane heavily, and now we're seeing Anivia picking up those wraiths. They're trying to help him farm out here, and then again he's going to assist Lil Balls in picking up the red buff of his own.
And really, I just want to look at the lanes a bit here because you can see Stanley against Shy. So much has been talked about this matchup. We saw Stanley completely dominate on Italy in the semifinals, and Shy completely destroy on Shen. And Shy actually has a bit of an early edge here. He's 11 up, and here comes a gank around the back. Lowballs with Oracles cleaned him out. Shy's in trouble.
The Ignite goes down on towards Shy here. Has he got enough to try and finish off Stanley before it finishes? Lowballs gets in there, tries to bait him around, pulls him into the push, and takes him down with the car. It's on the Requiem. Well, no! It didn't finish him off! Stanley survived with nothing. The Ezreal ultimate didn't actually aim for him. There was a push on mistake at the top there as well.
The clutchest of plays by Olaf there. He popped his Ragnarok at the end there because it gives him armor and MR, and because of that he lived through the Requiem, so he burned the ultimate from Rapid Star, and they got the successful gank. Brilliant play.
But that top lane is being pushed very heavily here from Woong. You can see alongside him, they are really driving it home, and this could be a turning point. Azubu Frost with Sona Ezreal is such a strong lane. Often we've seen Woong getting so far ahead of his lane partner, and you can see already 71 to 59, effectively 60 any second as soon as he returns to lane. Definitely building up that advantage, which we've seen throughout this tournament for Woong.
And immediately, since they realize that they're falling a bit behind in kills, they turn on the fast push. They're trying to get this tower down, and they're trying to get the global gold back into their hands to pull them back. That'll give them more than 700 gold, killing that tower as a team, and they really need to make sure they keep BB down. Vayne's actually made kind of 2 appearances in this tournament, both of them being victories. Another ward kill by Lil Balls. That Oracles is coming in handy.
It is definitely coming in handy. So Lil Balls shows himself up the top there, puts down a sapling, I think, in the Tribe Shell. I think it was a ward, and that's going to be Cloud Templar walking directly into it. That's going to give them a warning, and they will back away. But that bottom lane, despite the fact it's 2-1 as the sapling there disrupts the pullback. Oh, Toy's actually trying to get aggressive on Rapid Star here. Has he got enough to finish him off? He might do. The Ignite goes in. The basic shot. Yes, he does. Toy takes him down and continues his unstoppable record in that mid lane.
Toys just bullying out Rapid Star, and you look at that, he's got a 20 minion kill lead on him as well, so really, there haven't been jungle ganks to give him that edge. That's all Toys in that lane. and that's 4 kills to 1 now for TPA after that first blood, taking the next 4, and they are taking control of this game. You can see Low Balls still clearing out the wards, and Azubu Frost can't keep pace with the pressure right now. Shy scouting up towards Dragon because he's just trying to get vision, and Low Balls is going to catch him out in the river here if Olaf can support. No, they're just going to end up disengaging.
They're both going to back off. They see each other. They realize they were there. As it is, though, that bottom lane, Stanley being outpumped quite heavily by Shy. We can see they're turning on towards Madlife here. Crescendo comes across with the ultimate, goes straight towards BB. He wants to take down Madlife. One more shot, but Wound round offside of them will take BB down. No! He gets him, tries to push him out, but Wound with a beautiful Mystic shot takes down. And can he get on towards Mistake here? He's going to get an Arcane Shift available. He hasn't got the mana, though, and he's going to have to step off.
Cloud Templar with an Oracles as well, taking out this top ward. But the big play for that was actually for BB. They went aggressive onto a lane that's supposed to be destroying them. They're only down by about 13 minion kills. It's going to get a bit worse now that he's died. But that was still a pretty good play for BB and Mistake. They're going to lose this tower. That was going to happen anyway. Vayne doing a pretty good job keeping farm, because if they get him into teamfight late game phase, it's going to be huge. That tower kill, taking the gold pretty much even.
So 11:55 and the first tower goes down, along with another ward. Little Balls, he's really farming up, taking that Oracle pay, but this bottom lane, surely will it become a concern for them here?
You actually only need to clear out 16 wards for the Oracles to pay for himself. He's getting close to that point, and it's really just created so much map pressure for them. The Dragon play is going to be happening shortly. Both junglers trying to clear out the area. Cloud Templar has his Amumu ult up. They have Requiem back. Crescendo's a little bit slower. If they fought now, it would be in the advantage of TPA, because they have all of their cooldowns except for Mistakes, and these fans continue to applaud the wards.
Shy getting jumped on, Shy's getting dominating down the bottom here. They should be able to take him down. Yes, they do. BB gets him. That's, of course, going to turn the fight for the Dragon. Cloud Templars having to back away here. Mistake, would you believe, bullying him here. Toys could get a wall across here. They're going to try and wall him. They do. They managed to back him up. Have they got enough to slow him down? There's going to be the stun up towards Cloud Templar, but they're just forcing them away. True Shot Barrage does manage to hit a lot of Taipei Assassins. They're going to maybe try and go for the Dragon here. Nope, they are going to back away.
They got harassed down pretty heavily. Most of that with True Shot Barrage from Womb. It didn't have any damage fall off, getting them all pretty straight on. TPA actually backing off. The kill onto Shy, though, is pretty big. They're picking on him a little bit. He's out minion killing Stanley and trying to apply pressure, but because the Oracles clears and because he isn't safe with vision, they're continually ganking him and getting him down. And Cloud Templar getting seen by all those wards, not clearing out wards as fast as Little Balls. And this game, 6-2, TPA coming out with a lot of aggression. They need to start getting turrets, however.
You guys can keep that ward cheering up throughout these 5 matches. I'll be very impressed. But the first game, you've got to give it to Taipei Assassins. They're certainly trying it. It is 6-2. Taipei Assassins currently up in kills, but you can see the goal is still very close. That one tower, of course, turning it for Azubu Frost there, spotting it, and Lil Balls has been caught. How here? Cloud Templar pops his ultimate. You can see Ezreal coming in. That's going to be the counter's ultimate. Is it enough to save Lil Balls? No! He goes down. The Oracle burns. Can they catch on towards Mistake? They're going to try and turn this one. Olaf Stanley coming down the side there. There comes the axe. He's going to get on Cloud Templar. He does. He takes both Oracles now burn. Can they turn it on to Wound? Just one more axe. Will it get the slowdown? Stanley's going to be able to tank the turrets up. They are going to go for this one. They take him down. Have they got enough to take Madlife? Yes, they do! And BB picks it up. Very nice turnaround. And Taipei Assassins from a real strong position for Azubu Frost counter very nicely.
They realized that Shy was top on Irelia and that they had the man advantage. Now they get this free Dragon with 4 members, and they just pushed into Azubu Frost for that aggression. They burned the Amumu ult on a single target, which gave TPA a big advantage in that team fight. Shy trying to counter with a push bottom, but Lil Balls is all over that because he's right there to clear the wave, not allowing those turret kills to come through.
Well, there is a big difference in kills, of course, at the moment between support and assist between Stanley and Shy. And Shy, we've seen it so many times. You know, if he falls behind, he's just going to carry on farming. He's got a 45 CS advantage currently over Stanley. That's pretty big. But the 2-1-5 for Stanley has given him that gold advantage. And that mid lane, of course, Toys versus Rapid Start. Toys seemingly winning out currently on Anivia.
And Shy, despite his incredible performances on Singed, has been a little bit up and down in this tournament. This does seem to be a down game. He hasn't tuned back his aggression. He's getting the minions, but he's just letting Vayne and the rest of TPA get very farmed. We look at the gold. This is the big difference here. Woong versus BB. 4,900 for BB, 4,200 for Woong. And considering that was a Vayne versus Ezreal matchup, the early farm going to Vayne means very scary things for them. Stanley dodging the bandage toss in the top lane, and he's just going to walk away. He's toying with Azubu Frost right now.
Absolutely loving him. We saw it with his Nidalee against Moscow 5, and Darian, he's going to have nightmares against that Nidalee up against him in that lane. But Stanley quite happy, despite the fact he has got no ward coverage, to continue holding that position. Quite confident that Cloud Templar has backed off. Little Balls was there to help out, but BB, like you mentioned, the fact that he fell behind, he's got those 4 kills. He's got that gold advantage now, and despite all the pushing, has really worked in favour of Taipei Assassins.
You can see this lane dynamic has completely changed, especially now with BB having the red buff. They're bullying back on to Woong and Madlife, and actually should be able to push onto this turret and just get him continually farming. He's only down 8 minions. He's getting a Phantom Dancer soon, and they are just pushing the pressure onto them, going back into the mid lane as well. Toys playing with Rapid Star as well. 11 minion kills up. Athene's Unholy Grail like we've seen this entire tournament. And top lane, we might have a fight. No, not really, but Amumu coming down bottom. There's the Crescendo.
Crescendo goes across. They actually cleansed it off there, BB. That's going to be the Carthus ultimate. Will it be enough to take down BB? Yes, it will. Mistake might follow. Woong's going to get dived on there. Will he manage to finish off Mistake? That's going to be Cloud Templar trying to take the tower damage. Yes, he will. And he misses the ultimate. He missed the ultimate. Now Lil Balls is coming around the side. Has he got anything? He's just going to have to force them back. We do see Toys, though, taking down that mid turret as well on the way through.
And Toys might be trying to collapse down onto Cloud Templar. Low Ball's trying to keep pace. They might go for this if he gets the twisted advance.
And you can see Cloud Templar is trying to back away. Has he got enough? He dives on towards Woong. He's going to get the ignite. Surely he's going to get the stun down. Yes, he does. Will he finish him off? He's going to take him down. Now we have Stanley going around the back on towards Cloud Templar. The wall completely missed him, and it doesn't matter. Stanley gets one. Can he get another? He's all over Madlife. He's going to take him down. He gets the double kill. It's 12-5 for Taipei Assassins.
And that's just the counter gank from TPA. Every time Azubu Frost uses that Amumu ult, they get a kill out of it, and it's followed by multiple kills from TPA. Stanley comes down and collapses, and it's Shy not countering where Stanley is moving. He's trying to farm up and push that side lane, but right now, the plays are coming out for TPA. Stanley, 4 kills, 1 death, 5 assists, being the playmaker very much so for them. Been a part of 9 kills, and even though they're trying to split push, there always seems to be a TPA member that's there to stop the turret pushes. They're now up 2 turrets to 1, and in kills and in gold, really starting to snowball this a little bit. Azubu Frost has to stop the bleeding.
This is something we've seen with the Korean teams and with the Asian teams, the fact that they can counter, they can sense that attack, and they already get in position. We saw it with Azubu Blaze versus TSM at the MLG New York, and they were just countering everything TSM had at them. At the moment, Taipei Assassins are doing the exact same thing to Azubu Frost, and they're just unsure of what to do. The Dragon is coming up shortly. Of course, it's not taken. You can see them hanging around the blue spawn. We are looking at the top lane, though, and here we go. Lil Ball's going to come in. He's going to take down that ward, of course, and Toys is with him. They will steal the blue.
And there's nothing Azubu Frost can do to stop this one. Cloud Templar having fallen behind Lil Balls. He lost that Oracle, so did Lil Balls, but they've been creating more action, TPA that is, so it's not hurting them as much. Amumu also requires more farm than Maokai to get things done, so it's falling hard for them. Stanley trying to get pushed on by Shy, but he's just able to repel that. He's substantially behind in minion kills, 152 to 92 in that top lane matchup, but the pressure Stanley's created is more than worth it.
Yeah, and we're seeing Australia's Reverie being built by Stanley pretty early on there. You can see gold-wise, he's 1,000 gold ahead of Shy, despite the fact he is down, because he's got that 4-1-5 kill ratio.
And the Reverie is playing right into his style. We've seen these really long chases. He has Ghost. He is unCCable. He's just been charging through towers. And that's the build for him. Olaf doesn't need to build damage items. He's building in just with health, just with move speed, just with cooldown reduction, and that's really his play style. Azubu Frost not really having an answer for what Stanley's doing so far, because he's just ran straight at Woong, and Woong hasn't had an answer yet.
That's what it is at the moment. You can see this bottom lane. Woong's continuing to farm. He's going to try and pull it back, but he's actually fell behind in farm because he's been dived on so many times by BB and co. As it is, Lil Ball's looking to maybe get aggressive, try and take away that red buff. You can see the ward control in there from Taipei Assassins. They're starting to try and invade all of the jungle, take away everything that Azubu Frost has.
And this is something they did so well up against Moscow 5. As soon as they got rid of that mid tower, the jungle also came into their control. They've taken the red buff now. That's after the blue buff steal, so they're completely controlling Azubu Frost buffs and starving them from any enhancements. Now they're going up for the third turret. But actually they sense the counterplay by Azubu Frost, and they're happy with this because BB's off in the bottom lane getting free farm, and Azubu Frost doesn't have an aggressive play to make here. They're going to try to push mid, but it's probably going to get repelled by TPA.
Yeah, they're going to try and cover across that mid. They do not want to lose it. They realize the dragon is now available, and Azubu Frost look like they've managed to peel away and get onto this one. You can see Taipei Assassins are reacting though.
They're going to try to get this dragon really fast, and BB had to run all the way around, so it looks like they'll get this dragon uncontested. If they can fight after this, though, TPA would want to. They might try for an engage here.
They might try and go for the gauge. There's going to be the ultimate coming out from Azubu. Isn't enough? Toys is surely going to get dropped. He's down to an egg right now. Cloud Templar is getting dived on. The damage really coming from his wound though at the back. That's
TPA's cleaning up.
Stanley gets one. Stanley gets two. BB gets the other one. That's going to be the Cardinals ultimate. He might pop over this one. He gets the quadra kill. He gets the quadra kill off the back. My word, Stanley though is trying to avoid the damage, but Woong is in there. And could Azubu Frost get a better turnaround than that?
Everyone sat in top of Rapid Star's Defile, and then when they took him out, the perfect timing for the Wreck Cream. They just weren't ready for that damage. Quick impression there for the quadra kill. That was insane. So much farm coming out from Rapid Star here, and it's going to make team fighting very difficult because Stanley needs to run through the team. Everyone needs to just dive onto Azubu, and now that he's gotten so much farm from that fight, he's going to be heavy.
Okay, we're going to check out a replay of this one, try and take us through it in a calm manner.
You can actually see after the dragon, they get a perfect Timber wall. The Ezreal hits them all as well, and this looks like a fight that's going to go in TPA's favor, but you can see the Karthus Defile is just sitting there. Rapid Star doesn't fall until quite a while. He got so much damage going off there, and then really everyone's low. Sona's finishing up after, and that ultimate just cleaned house. Everyone got low because they didn't realize the Defile was going to last that long. I think they thought Rapid Star died earlier and that the Defile was going to be worth sitting in. Boy, were they wrong.
The irony is they're the only kills so far that Rapid Star has got. He just gets them all at once. That will turn his play very much, and you can see that's going to give him a big chunk of change. He's now ahead of Toys in the kill. And let's not forget the fact that as soon as Toys dies, TPA lose.
And that's the second Oracles Taipei Assassins have lost. Toys really his first death. Can he stop the trend of winning without dying? Can he win with the death? He's got the Negatron cloak here, and everyone realizing they need magic resist after that fight because they know they have to sit in Rapid Star. Toys picked up the Negatron cloak. Stanley picked up the Negatron cloak. Vayne is yet to build any magic resist. That's going to be dangerous for them since he's a close range AD carry. Even with that death, though, and that team fight loss, they're keeping the pressure up. This is their style. They're trying to camp the blue buff, hoping someone comes in and checks. But it doesn't look like Azubu Frost is down for it. They've had so much experience against CLG.EU. They're really trying their best to turtle out and get those team fights where Rapid Star can just pick up those quadra kills.
Taipei Assassins trying to cover this one out. Are they going to try and steal the blue buff away? Are they going to try and bait someone in? You can see Woong just off the side there with Mad Life as well as Shy. Is anyone going to go into it? I expect
they get the stun!
They get the stun out towards Woong. They try and have the damage. The Twisted Advance completely through, and Woong goes down. It's actually Mistake that picks up the kill though. Not the ideal, but Mad Life now getting dived on. BB thinks he can take this one. The Crescendo on the turret. Mad Life might turn it. He's got him. He's got him back. That's going to be a 1-for-1 down in that lane. Meanwhile, Stanley getting very aggressive here. He's going to have to back off. That's going to be a straight stun there, but Stanley will walk away.
And they just took the blue buff away from Azubu Frost as well, so they're continually denying that blue buff, and repetitive blue steals have led to victory very frequently in this tournament. It's another one for them. Cloud Templar going to get that Aegis of the Legion soon to match up with Little Balls. These team fights are so close. Both teams actually have very good late game synergy. Might have to give a slight edge to Azubu Frost just because a move on top of Karthus, on top of Crescendo is so powerful. But with the pressure that TPA is putting out, they need to start to extend this lead. They lost a lot in that fight. The gold lead now shrinking below 3,000. They do have total control of the jungle. They seem to have total control of the map. And when BB gets going, nothing trucks like late game Vayne. And that's just more farm in the bottom lane for him to pick up.
Indeed, and we are 25 minutes into it. We've talked about how the Asian teams tend to fall off after the 20-minute mark. That's when we saw the European teams much stronger in the team compositions. As it is, though, Azubu Frost, you know, CLG called them one of the best team fighting teams in the world. The question is, can they pull themselves out of this 3k gold deficit they have? And, of course, a fed Stanley and a fed Vayne as well from BB. It could be a problem for them, but we saw the skill of the players. Mad Life managing to turn a lost, you know, potentially a death easily there, and just managed to pick up a kill on the AD carry because he got too confident.
And TPA needs to worry about that confidence. They did get a little too confident at the Dragon fight. They're still putting the pressure on, and the kills are really in a pretty good distribution for them. Having Stanley being big and being able to dive through for Woong, as long as he can solo Woong and dive through the team, TPA is going to win this game. But the instant that he dies before he can get to Ezreal is when TPA has to start worrying. The ward kill comes out, people cheer, and they're actually pushing around Baron, trying to get ward control. They're looking to force something here. They're trying to get Azubu Frost into their grill so they can turn something around.
The Taipei Assassins with the 5-man group up. They have, of course, the Oracle on the stake. So both supports picking up those Oracles, clearing out all of those wards. Taipei Assassins looking to try and force something here.
And Taipei Assassins spreading the Oracles around. They had to lose 2 when Low Balls died, and they are sitting on a ward that they have yet to clear. So Azubu Frost actually looking for Cloud Templar maybe to initiate something here. They're trying to push down mid, but this play is forcing TPA into them. If they go for a turret, we're going to see a fight off this, and they're pushing hard down mid. They're cornering themselves, and TPA might come in for a fight.
Yeah, Cloud Templar looks like he was ready for that one. Of course, they've got a big amount of stun in there. Axe coming across.
Here they come.
Oh, they've used this. Shirelli is really going to go down. They're going to catch the ultimate across them. Didn't really hit the right spot though. Crescendo goes across. Cloud Templar's getting dropped very low. Toys is being taken down. Not really the right target. Rapid Star is getting dropped. Rapid Star is down. Has he got his ultimate available? Cloud Templar taken down very low. Here comes the red cube. It should hit a few. It does hit a few. And whoa, Mad Light comes in. And Azubu Frost turning into a 3-on-1 fight. Toys manages to get back out of his rebirth. But that was a good fight for Azubu Frost, as we see Toys trying to pin off Woom.
And they keep falling to just sustained AoE damage. And the nice thing there is Woom focused on BB and got him low enough for the Karthus ultimate to really get him with the last blow. Rapid Star now with the death cap getting scarier and scarier. The big thing the TPA has to do here, since there's no avoiding the Red Team in team fights, is get that magic resistance. You can see the force of nature now onto Olaf. Negatron Cloak just getting purchased by BB. If they can fight again soon, before Rapid Star gets magic penetration, they're going to have something. With that team fight though, Azubu Frost gets the Dragon. Gold lead even closer now, 1,000. And you can see their team fighting is coming out superior to TPA. And that's how they clawed their way back into this game.
So 18-13 in kills. Definitely not going to be the stall tactic we've seen throughout this tournament and from certain teams. But we are going to check out the replay of that last fight and talk us through it.
Watch how Woom actually zones out BB in this fight. It looked like Rapid Star might have died in the wrong place, but everyone is still clumped up. They're still getting the defile damage onto the majority of the team, and BB can't actually get to targets that he wants to. He's so zoned out, everyone just getting pushed back. Stanley was able to take it out, and because the Requiem comes down, no one can chase on to any priority targets for Azubu Frost. Mad Life came in awesomely at the end with his amazing Sona. But that's just the team fights are really hard for TPA because it doesn't seem like they can get onto the targets they want. There's too much zoning potential coming out from Amumu and Karthus that the team fights do seem to be going in Azubu's favor.
So as it is, you can see Stanley on your screen. 716 has got that force of nature. Can he try and carry this one through for his team? Definitely seems to be calling out. He wants to force something. We can see Toys down in the bottom lane though, so in a moment Taipei Assassins are split apart. We talked about their 4-man fight. Toys right now feels he needs to farm up. He's got that Deathfire Grasp along with his Athenes and Holy Grail, which he picked up early on. It's something we've seen quite regular from the Asian teams.
The Athenes on Holy Grail is something Toys has wanted this entire tournament. Almost every caster he plays is fairly mana hungry, and he'll get that Athenes. With the 4-man play, though, that's not how TPA has been playing this game. Stanley has actually been a creator. They wanted to run around as 5, and they're trying to force those things, but against Amumu Karthus, that's extremely dangerous. The split pushing isn't really coming in. Shy has actually been the one trying to make the 4v4s happen, and he's ended up getting picked off a few times because of it. Now that Azubu Frost has won a couple of team fights, the tides have turned here. They're the ones scouting around Baron buff, trying to clear out ward. Mad Life's going to get that one in the triangle brush. And now it's Azubu Frost that has to come, or Taipei Assassins that has to come into Azubu Frost. Cloud Templar can turn a fight very quickly with Bandage Toss and Ultimate, and they can just all flash follow on top of that. Rapid Star's flash not quite up yet, but they're looking to get someone out of position here. There's a wall, here's a fight.
He's going to come in, he's going to be the goes to the money, goes straight across. Toys getting dropped almost instantly there. Goes down, doesn't have rebirth available. Shy will drop. Taipei Assassin trying to turn this one. Mistake and BB trying to hammer the damage from the back there, but Crescendo comes across. Woong is going to get dropped. No, he gets the heal off. Has he survived? No. Stanley goes down on the back immediately. They're going to try to turn it. Mistake doing the damage. Stillballs. Can he pick them all up? He gets one. How can he get another? The Cartmel ultimate comes through. It's not needed. And Mad Life with a double kill at the end of it. Mad Life is picking up kill after kill. He's 4-4-13. And Azubu Frost with another one-team fight.
We knew these teams were going to be aggressive coming in. Both of them were trying to match each other hit for hit, and it just seems like Azubu Frost is one step ahead of them in team fights. A Mumu ultimate's so key, and TPA just can't seem to finish off the targets. BB actually had a field day hitting in that last fight, but he didn't have his Infinity Edge. Now that he has that, it's about him avoiding focus, and if Vayne can get off big things in team fights, it's really what they have to rely on. Toys got picked off at the start of that fight, and they still took down 3 members, and Cloud Templar and Mad Life were very, very close. These team fights are still razor thin. Azubu Frost got an edge off that one with the turret and now a gold advantage. But I still can't call the rest of this because it's been back and forth, the kills are still very close, and it's not like these team fights are completely one-sided.
Looks like Taipei Assassins were thinking about trying to react very quickly. Azubu Frost are well aware of that. They could go and rush straight towards that Baron. And Taipei Assassins are definitely doing that. They're going to try and get in there and clear things out. Mistake is going to get and clear that ward down, and immediately Azubu Frost tried to react to this one. You saw the Shirelia's Reverie was used to escape off the back of this.
And they're actually just seeing a ward, and they just cleared it out, but this is Azubu Frost going to fly into them. All their ultimates are up except, the Requiem and the Ezreal isn't, and Stanley's driving in. This is TPA pushing.
They're going on towards Shy. Shy getting dropped down immediately off that, and Bebe gets in there. Cloud Templar uses the ultimate, but the rest of his team are not with him. They're dealing with Lil Balls. The Shirelia's Reverie comes across, and you see that that's going to be immediately catch on. Cloud Templar is just going to have to run away. BB's still taking a lot of damage, though. The Swoon is just off the side, picking them apart. Cardless picks up the double. They're going to take Toys down. Azubu Frost once again come out on top of this team fight. And Stanley and Lil Balls, the only 2 surviving members. Azubu Frost are going to try and push the Baron.
BB just got picked off there, and you can see how low everyone on Azubu Frost is. They're so good at dropping aggro, and that's just because they have a more powerful front line than TPA. Stanley's going to try to disrupt this, but he doesn't have his ultimate up, and they're just jumping off after him. They're taking down this Baron, and even though Lil Balls is going to try to steal, they're not going to let him. They're going to look to peel Lil Balls before they let him steal. It's littered with wards, so there's no way he can actually get in undetected.
Trying to sneak around the side, trying to throw those saplings in. He does have Smite available. He's not going to be out of it in a position to get in there. It would be suicide. And he backs away. And Azubu Frost now tied in kills, 22-22. They've got a 4-2 kill tower advantage. They've got the Baron, and they have a big gold advantage. It's that 5k advantage turn. And Azubu Frost really building up their advantages against Taipei Assassins and winning the last 4 team fights.
If Taipei Assassins wants to win a fight, they have to get Rapid Star out of the way. He is dying where he wants. He is getting where he wants to go, and TPA doesn't seem to have field control of these fights. That's really what it's been coming down to, and big lead now for Azubu Frost because they were substantially down in gold when they started winning team fights. Now that they have the Baron buff and a large gold lead and the Aegis Elite and the Zeke's Herald, the team fight items coming in, it's going to be very difficult. TPA has to win these skirmish fights, and actually just take a look over at the Baron buff. Look at how many wards they had. That's one of the reasons they won that fight, because no matter where TPA tried to go, they couldn't lose vision of them. They tried to juke into brush, but all the brushes were taken up. They couldn't go around corners for field of vision. There's a little lesson there. Baron team fights, get wards out, because if you're looking to peel, you don't want people to go invisible.
They're going to dive up towards the Dragon here. It's going to be picked up within seconds for Azubu Frost. Wound, of course, very fed now. Sapling's going to come in, didn't quite get the steal, though, as Wound takes out. Down the top, though, Stanley's getting dived on here. Is he wanting to fight this, though? Shy getting onto him for once. A 1-6-8 Shy is actually forcing Stanley back, despite the fact Stanley is built so tanky.
And another difficulty for TPA in team fights is that BB's getting outranged and zoned by Woog. So even though he had an advantage early, he hasn't been able to push that because he can't get close to any of the targets he wants to. Even if he gets around the tank line, it's Woog that's going in on him. And now Azubu Frost are the ones doing the 4v4. They have Shy going off. They realize Stanley is the only diver. He's really the best frontliner for TPA, and since they can't match up their dive buddies with Lil Balls and Stanley, they're struggling in team fights to get to priority targets. This turret's going to be very difficult for them to hold just because of the flank potential from Azubu Frost coming around the back.
Yeah, Stanley versus Shy in that top lane, and honestly, you could see a Mumu come around the side and try and get in there, which is why you see Lil Balls putting that ward just above. Mistake trying to cover it off. Now Templar trying to find a position. Shy getting taken down very low there and forced away by Stanley. Are they going to try and force something in the bottom lane? No. They keep that standoff and just slowly but surely poke it off. They do manage to wall off a bunch of Azubu Frost, but honestly, Taipei Assassins do not feel they can win this fight. They need Stanley to join them, and it can't happen at the moment.
I think it's a matter of time until this turret goes down. If TPA were to engage on a 4-man Azubu Frost team with Baron, they would most likely lose. I'm surprised that Azubu Frost is backing off because it seemed like they could get that turret, but there it is. They knew Stanley could be coming up the back, and they didn't want to engage in a 4v5 even with Baron. So despite the 44 total kills in only 35 minutes, we do see a bit of cautious play finally coming out of Azubu Frost.
A big game experience, of course. We talked about it earlier on. Very much keeping a cool head here on Azubu Frost. Toys continuing out to farm. Let's just have a look across the builds and the teams. I mean, how do you see this one playing out? At the moment, Azubu Frost winning every team fight. How do Taipei Assassins react to that?
On top of Azubu Frost winning all the team fights earlier, they've completed 2 Guardian Angels, so Shy and Woong both will have to die twice in the next fight, and TPA doesn't have one of their own. They need to be extremely cautious and almost hope that Azubu Frost dives a turret or does something silly. They have to focus around getting picks, and he's burning his ultimate. They're just diving through onto him. They're going to get him here.
They're going to get him. There's the crescendo, goes across the Carpenter's ultimate. Will be enough. Rapid Star picks up the kill. They're going to try and push on Stanley as well, but instead they immediately divert their attention and go straight for that bottom turret. They have a creep wave coming in. They will take that inner turret down.
And Azubu Frost actually just pulled off what TPA would have needed to do, picking off a solo member. There's no way right now that TPA wins an even team fight, even if it's on top of a turret. They have to pull off something very creative. You can see Toys is off getting blue buff, but this turret is going to be nearly impossible for them to hold. They only have 3 members, and Azubu Frost is flying in hard.
They're diving in here. Remember, they used a lot of ultimates to get in here, though, but they are taking the turret down very quickly. A flash from Rapid Star, an exhaust on towards Mistake, but it wasn't enough. They do take the inhibitor down regardless, and they're going to back straight off this one. Stanley is trying to peek across, but Azubu Frost quite happily disengaged. That's going to be the true shot barrage going across, not really doing a great deal of damage across them. They do make a stun on towards Shy. Can they pick one up here? He has got a Guardian Angel, and Azubu Frost immediately turns to react. They're going to defend their comrade, and Stanley's trying to get in there. That's going to be the Curse of the Sad Mommy getting across, hitting the entire team, but Stanley is still in of there, and Wu is going to get taken down very low. Lil Balls tries to get aggressive, but they disengage so quickly, they cannot catch up. That wall of pain goes across and effectively says, chase us if you will.
And that was a TPA fight where they had no AD carry. BB was still waiting for his death timer. It was a good repel. If they'd lost 2 inhibitors, the game would essentially be over. Overall, Azubu Frost, with that Baron buff, made very good use of it, getting the first inhibitor of the game and just extended their lead. None of their Guardian Angels have been popped. You can see they've been able to zone TPA out in team fights, and they really just have to continue doing what they're doing. With that long push, though, all their wards have actually dropped down, so this would be a moment for TPA to try to get a pick. They could take control of the area and hope to catch someone warding. But come 30 seconds from now, we see 5 wards out from Mad Life. He's going to be littering that Baron area with wards because they know the spawn timer is going to be a couple minutes later since their Baron just did fall off. And this is actually maybe a bit of a pause for Azubu Frost because their next play is forcing around Baron.
It could well be their last play as well because Taipei Assassins up against it here. Stanley trying to draw something out, trying to bait something out, and the ping's coming out to back off. They do not want to go into towards the situation. Azubu Frost, of course, with all the ultimates available, are going to continue.
Oh, this might be what they need!
They got caught out Cloud Templar. Isn't enough though? He's just going to pop his ultimate. The Curse of the Sad Mommy comes out. He does get dropped. Have they got enough to try and continue? Or will they just disengage very quickly? Shirelli is wherever he was popped, and they do back away. BB with the ultimate just goes down to clear out those super minions.
More of that though for TPA. They caught Cloud Templar scouting and trying to ward, and the wall from Toys completely split him away from the rest of the team. The unfortunate thing here, though, is BB had to go back to base to clear out those super minions with the inhibitor down. That's the worst inhibitor to have down when the Baron is up because it completely takes him as far away as possible in supporting the upcoming Baron fight. That Baron spawning in 20 seconds. You can see TPA is trying to take control of it, but without 5 members, they don't have the confidence to start any team fights. There's the death timer on Cloud Templar, and they might actually charge this, knowing that Cloud Templar won't be up for the very start of it. If there's a desperation play, this might be it.
And of course, without that Amumu ultimate, it may just give them that slight advantage they want in their 4v5 fights. But are they aware of the timer? It is now up. They will have vision of it, and Cloud Templar spawns. They are not in position to try and fight for it, and they're going to have to react and back off from this one. Taipei Assassins, Azubu Frost are going to be happy with that one. They realized that the danger they were in, but now they've got themselves back as a 5-man team, and they are in the stronger position, Jack.
And they can go wherever they want as long as they stay grouped up. When Rapid Stars flashes up, though, it'll make them much more dangerous in team fights because it allows his positioning with Defile to be even greater. He has that Void Staff, so most of the magic resist the TPA has isn't helping them very much. When that Requiem comes down, it's going to be devastating. They're clearing out wards, and they're actually looking to fight here. TPA is going to try to stop this because giving up the Baron would mean the game. But fighting Azubu Frost straight up 5v5 in a choke is also going to be a high chance of them losing it. They have to pull off something crazy here. They have to team fight perfectly if they don't want to lose here. Stanley walking right through a ward. Azubu Frost displaying a lot of patience.
And they're hitting the axe of the cross inside. Azubu Frost poking it. They don't have the vision though. Taipei Assassins desperately. Stanley's going to maybe try and pull something crazy out here. It's Wound they want, but he's got that Guardian Angel. He's got that damage, and of course Rapid Star as well. Poking it through.
Well, Rapid Star is up pushing top, so Azubu Frost trying to engage.
They're trying to go for it, and they can see. They're going to come back. They've dodged up towards Stanley. Stanley's the one that wants to take the damage, and immediately he turns into the rest of Azubu Frost. There's the good little South Molly. Rapid Star taken very low. They're going to use the Zonia's Hourglass straight away. They can't manage to take him down. Cloud Sampler will get dropped by Stanley. Immediately turning it. Lil Morse takes down Rapid Star. Stanley's going to get dropped. The counter. Oh, it's a triple kill for Rapid Star. And now Woog and Shy should chase down Lil Morse. And Shy gets the kill. And surely the game for Azubu Frost. We are 28-26. They're going directly for the Nexus turrets. Jack, what an amazing turnaround.
I thought that BB might be able to pull off the end of that fight, but the Requiem just destroyed him, and Rapid Star picks up his 13th kill of the game. They're now pushing down onto this Nexus. This looks to be the end for Azubu Frost. They look to have the 1-0 advantage, and what an amazing way to open the World Finals. 54 kills, 42-minute victory.
What a fantastic performance there. 42-minute game and a lot of kills. That is the way to open up the Season 2 World Final. And Azubu Frost, despite the fact they lost out, I think they're about 9-3 down after the lane phase, they certainly turned it around. That big game experience shown through. There's the Summoner Cup. That is what they're fighting for. Taipei Assassins, we saw them get destroyed by Moscow 5 in that first match. They're going to have to pick themselves up just like they did.
Gotta play like they have nothing to lose, and honestly, that's kind of how they're playing in that game. All of the tower dives, all of the aggression, exactly what we expected to see from both these teams. They were trying to outdo each other, and they can't get dejected with themselves after just one loss. There's plenty more League of Legends for them to play. They still have to win 3 games. Azubu Frost still has to beat them twice more. And considering how strong Azubu Frost was in that, or Taipei Assassins was in that early game, they can't get down on themselves. There's very easy ways to turn this around for them because so many of these team fights were razor thin for them, and the slightest change could have granted them a victory.